Hello guys, welcome to my second Skyblock video, which is on the guide of how to deal with the Tarantula Broodfather. As you can see here, in Maddox Slayer, there is a new Slayer boss also known as the Tarantula Broodfather. Today I will be going through on three main important points. Firstly, on the stats and the explanations of the ability of what the Tarantula Broodfather does. Secondly, on also what is best to what is the things that you genuinely most need to deal with these Tarantula Broodfather bosses. And lastly, I would also be discussing about which items in the Tarantula Broodfather are actually worth to craft, as I have unlocked every single Spider Slayer recipe, and today I will inform you on what is the best to craft as well as what crafts you would like to avoid. So first I will go through what the Tarantula Broodfather actually does. As you see here, Tarantula Broodfather Tier 3 and Tier 4, which is what I will be mainly discussing today because those two are the bosses which gives people the most issues currently. So therefore, the Tarantula Broodfather 3 has 900,000 health and does 525 damage per second. Now, this isn't the main reason as to why the Tarantula Broodfather is tough, because its health and damage are genuinely not too high as compared to Savem Packmaster with true damage. However, the reason why the Tarantula Broodfather is generally considered to be very difficult is due to its two abilities. Combat Jump, which the ability states that the spider will often attempt to jump behind you, is something whereby, like, if the spider is locked on or aggroed onto you, it will always jump towards you and then it will phase through every single solid block. So basically, no matter where you are, as long as the Tarantula Broodfather has aggroed onto you, the Tarantula Broodfather will always jump onto you and it will go through even solid blocks. The second ability, Noxious, which does AoE damage every second that reduces your healing by 50%. Now, this is the ability of Noxious is the main reason as to why the Tarantula Broodfather is tough, because items like the Mana Flux Orb as well as the Radiant Power Orb, the healing is reduced by it's been reduced by 0.5% of your max health per second for the Radiant Power Orb. However, for the Mana Flux Power Orb, your healing is reduced to 1%, which does actually affect a lot of the battle, because genuinely you are a lot more reliant on healing, especially against bosses with a lot of health, and that means you'll be taking a lot of damage. So the main difficulty is the Noxious ability, and today I'll be telling you how to actually work around it. So mainly the most important things you will want to deal with the Tarantula Broodfather will be seen in Spider Slayer 4 and Spider Slayer 5. They will give you the Tarantula Armor set. Now, the trick here is I have suggested is that once you hit Tarantula Spider Slayer level 4, you get unlocked to you get the unlock to the Tarantula leggings and the Tarantula boots. So basically, you can craft these two at your own at Spider Slayer 4, but instead of grinding all the way up to Spider Slayer 5 without the Tarantula Broodfather set, it would be suggested for you to instead buy it from the auction house, because if you look down here, it only requires Spider level 4, which means that you need Spider level 5 to craft it, but at Spider level 4, you can already use the entire Tarantula Broodfather set if you bought the helmet and the chestplate from the auctions. So therefore, that is like my suggested idea, because you want to get the armor set as soon as possible to level it up. Like, as you can see, my armor set has 74,000 kills, and it grants me an additional 250 bonus against spiders on all piece, effectively granting me an extra 1000 defense, which is a lot of defense against the Broodfather. So I would suggest for you to get the Tarantula leggings and boots by yourself at Spider Slayer 4, and buy the Tarantula helmet and the Tarantula chestplate at Spider Slayer 5 from the auction. So therefore, I can start using the entire Tarantula set early on at Spider Slayer 4 instead of waiting until Spider Slayer 5 to craft the Tarantula armor. Now, the two weapons that I would suggest would be the Recluse Fang as well as the Scorpion Foil. Now, the Recluse Fang is actually as good as an aspect of the dragons if you actually max its item ability out. As you can see here, when I maxed out the strength bonus against spiders, I do 370 extra strength. And if you do put Bane of Arthropods 6 on the Recluse Fang, it does make the Recluse Fang even stronger than an aspect of the dragons against spiders. You may want to craft this, but not everyone really considers it as a good craft, because it's only slightly better than an aspect of the dragons, and honestly, you can get the job done with just an aspect of the dragons. Now, a craft for Spider Slayer 6 would be the Scorpion Foil, which I would highly suggest to craft if you are interested to continue grinding the Tarantula Broodfather from Slayer 5 and onwards. From Slayer 6 and onwards. This is mainly because of the fact that the Scorpion Foil, when paired with the Wood Singularity, actually makes it stronger than a 50 million Midas Sword against spiders only. Now, I will highly suggest for you to craft the Scorpion Foil if you're intending to craft the Mosquito Bow or to grind for it at Spider Slayer 7. So I will go through on whether is the Mosquito Bow actually good to craft, but if you are wanting to grind for the Mosquito Bow and you want to continue grinding all the way up to Spider Slayer 8 to get a plus 10% alchemy XP, I would highly suggest for you to get the Scorpion Foil, because it makes fighting bosses a lot faster. The easiest strategy for you to deal with the Tarantula Broodfather at tier 3 is actually just with a spider head. Basically anything with just a spider head would actually work very well. Oh, of course you can also use the Tarantula Broodfather armor set, and it will still do a very good work. In fact, even better than the spider head strategy. So I'll be showing you how you can actually kill tier 3 Broodfathers with just 3/4 young armor and just a spider head that's enchanted, and wise reforged. So basically you want to basically I will also show you a place where you will want to spawn the Broodfather boss at, because it makes your life a lot easier. Because the Tarantula Broodfather boss actually does a lot of knockback, and it does get very annoying really quickly. So therefore, I highly suggest for you guys to actually spawn it at a certain place, which is actually in that cave over there. If you spawn it in the cave, it will make it a lot easier because you can put your back against the wall. Yeah, so right now I will be grinding the Tarantula. I'll be grinding out the quest, and I will be right back when I'm done. Okay guys, so I just spawned the boss in, and you want to lure the boss to this cave, or at best you spawn it inside the cave. Now you can kill it really easily with just a spider head. Give me a second. As you can see here, you just want to back yourself up against a wall and just attack the Broodfather from here, because when you spawn the boss and it hits you against a two-sided wall like this, you will not be knocked back around really easily, and you'll make the fight a lot easier and manageable. Okay, got a bite. So yeah, you can do it really easily with just a spider head, honestly. And now I'll be showing you how to grind with a tier 4 boss. And there are two main ways to deal with the Tarantula Broodfather for tier 4. Now, the first strategy is a lot easier than you actually think. You actually just need the Tarantula Chestplate and the Wise Spider Head. And when paired with any Dragon Armor set, will actually make it really easy to kill any boss, especially tier 4. Now, the reason why you want to just have the Tarantula Chestplate is because the Tarantula Chestplate has this very interesting ability. As you can see here, its extra bonus is anti-toxin, which makes it immune to healing reduction, which is the main reason as to why the Tarantula Broodfather is tough, because it reduces your healing by 50%. course, you want to make sure you're backed up in a corner, like in any corner, honestly. And I can show you how even without an orb, I can still solo the tier 4 Tarantula Broodfather with just this set. It is that easy to kill it, honestly, with this setup. You don't even need an orb. You can literally do this without an orb. And yeah, the main difficulty with the Broodfather is that it does more damage than it can heal, and that results in you like dying really easily, really quickly, especially with the toxic ability, which means that you cannot heal enough even with your lifesteal, because the toxin ability which the Broodfather has actually reduces your lifesteal healing on your sword, which means that the most reliant healing you are using on your lifesteal would be reduced by half as well, which means that you would be in risk of taking more damage than you can actually handle, which would then result in you dying. So, with these two strategies being showcased, what else is there for you to do with the tier 4 Tarantula Broodfather? Well, as stated, you can always just use the Tarantula Armor set, and it makes it a lot easier than you actually think. Because honestly, the Tarantula Broodfather set really makes it a lot easier for you to deal with the tier 4 Tarantula Broodfather once you level it up enough. But in the scenario where you just don't want to continue doing Slayers and you're just doing tier 4 Broodfathers just once to get it done and over with, to get the bonus combat XP, then I suggest for you just to hit Slayer 4 and just use the Tarantula Chestplate and the Spider Head strategy, because once you do that, you will always get the kill and you will get the extra combat XP that you want. But if you're interested in continue grinding up, because once you go above like 25,000 kills, the extra defense is actually better than this anti-toxin ability with the Spider Head combined, because the other half of the set would be some random dragon armor piece, which generally is going to be weaker than actually having a leveled up Tarantula Armor, leggings and boots. So lastly, moving on to what the Tarantula Broodfather actually drops, and it drops Tarantula Web, Toxic Arrow Poison, Bite Runes, Spider Catalyst, an Enchanted Book, which is the Bane of Arthropods 6 book, Fly Swatters, Tarantula Talisman, and the Digested Mosquito. So, yes, the Tarantula Broodfather is generally profitable because you can craft the web into silk, and the silk sells for around 130,000 coins on the AH. Now, however, the Tarantula Broodfather still fails as compared to the Savant Packmaster in terms of profits, because it has bad RNGesus drops, namely the Fly Swatter, which is actually very bad because the Fly Swatter is used to craft this item called the Flycatcher, which actually gives your minions an extra boost of 10% speed with literally almost a stack of Tarantula Silk with the Fly Swatter. There is a bug at the moment, and this is actually meant to show a Fly Swatter instead of a Golden Shovel, but you need a Fly Swatter along with 17 times 5 Tarantula Silk, which is a lot for just increasing the speed of your minion by 10%. And you know what increases your speed of a minion without it being a fuel? You can check a recipe book, go down to the mining recipes, and go and scroll around, and you will see this item called the Minion Expander. Now, this item got a secret buff in Hypixel Skyblock, whereby it actually increases the speed of a minion by 5% without it being a fuel. And all it takes is literally just 16 enchanted quartz and 2 enchanted redstone for a 5% boost. It's literally a joke, because you require an RNG drop that drops 0.45% of the time, along with almost a stack of Tarantula Silk just to increase the speed by 10%. It is a very bad drop, and generally if you put it on the auction house, they don't sell for more than 500,000 coins. It's that bad. So the Tarantula Talisman and the Digested Mosquito are the better RNGesus items, with this Tarantula Talisman having a drop rate of 0.1518%, while the Digested Mosquito has a drop rate of 0.05%. Now this Tarantula Talisman sells for around 10 million to 11 million coins on the auction house, while the Digested Mosquito sells for around 60 to 65 million coins. So yeah, it's not the best for profits, but it's by far much easier to kill the Tarantula Broodfather as compared with the Savan Packmaster when you have the armor. And yes, thank you for listening to my guide on the Tarantula Broodfather, and I hope you guys will give a like and subscribe if you guys think it was actually useful. And yeah, see ya guys.